Look down at your keyboard. Top row of letters, QWERTY. Now here's the question nobody asks. Why this order? It's not the alphabet. It's not random. And the story behind it involves a jammed typewriter, a rejected genius, and a habit that survives even now when changing it costs nothing at all. The layout was designed in the 1870s by a man named Christopher Latham Scholes for one of the very first commercial typewriters. Early typewriters had a mechanical problem. Each key was attached to a metal arm called a type bar, and if you typed two letters that sat too close together too quickly, the arms would physically collide and jam. Scholes rearranged the letters specifically to separate common letter pairs, slowing typists down just enough to stop the jamming. In other words, the keyboard you use every single day was partly designed to make you slower. That layout got called QWERTY after the first 6 letters on the top row, and it shipped with the first mass-produced typewriters in the 1870s. Once typing schools started teaching it, and once millions of typewriters existed with that exact layout, QWERTY wasn't really a design choice anymore, it was infrastructure. Then in 1936, an educational psychologist named August Dvorak looked at the problem completely differently. He wasn't building a machine, he was studying how people actually type. He mapped out which letters were used most often in English and built a keyboard where the most common letters sat right under your fingers on the home row. No mechanical jamming to worry about anymore. Typewriters and later keyboards didn't have that limitation, just pure efficiency. He called it the Dvorak Simplified Keyboard. In his own studies, typists using it were faster, made fewer errors, and reported less finger fatigue. On paper, it looked like an obvious upgrade. The exact kind of improvement decimal time was for the calendar, or right-hand traffic was for Sweden. But almost nobody switched. Businesses had already invested in QWERTY typewriters and QWERTY-trained typists. Retraining an entire workforce cost time and money that the small efficiency gain didn't seem to justify. Later studies, done independently of Dvorak himself, found the speed advantage was much smaller than he'd claimed, which gave companies even less reason to bother. The layout designed to slow people down outlived the layout designed to speed them up. Here's the part that makes this different from the last 2 stories I told you. France's decimal time failed because changing it required rebuilding physical infrastructure. Sweden's traffic switch succeeded because the government coordinated the entire country at once. But QWERTY versus Dvorak isn't about infrastructure anymore. Every phone and computer already has Dvorak built in, free, one settings menu away. The switching cost today is essentially zero, and people still don't switch. Not because QWERTY is better, because everyone already knows QWERTY, every keyboard is printed with QWERTY letters, and learning to type again feels like starting from nothing, even if the eventual payoff is real. The habit isn't held in place by machines or governments anymore. It's held in place by every other person who never switched either. So next time you glance down at your keyboard, remember, you're not looking at the most efficient possible design. You're looking at a solution to a problem that stopped existing 100 years ago, kept alive purely because nobody wants to be the only one who's different. If you like this, subscribe. I post one story like this every week.